I'm still underwater. I'd say like anything that's my dad. I paid $800.
Okay, we back. So we got a lot of shit done yesterday. The engine bay is fully degreased and power washed, and it looks absolutely disgusting. So basically what I'm gonna do is, first area I need to attend is this. So I'm honestly just gonna bust out the grinder and start grinding on this, and gonna get the wire wheel and kind of just strip down as much paint as I can, and really just have at it everywhere I can. This is getting grinded off and that's getting grinded off. Same with this here. I think I have to undo a bolt and then pop a couple welds off, and then I'm just gonna smooth some stuff out and see what I can do. Alright, yo, we masked up out here because safety, but got this kind of where I want it. I mean, so pretty much, unfortunately, this chassis is not going to be the chassis I keep forever. I've just found too many problems with it justify keeping it for a long time and like intensify the amount of work I put into it. Like, I would find another shell right now, but I still got another year of school, so I'm just gonna kick this one to the ground and enjoy it. But so yeah, I mean, we got this patch right here. It is actually welded, and I don't weld, but I do body work. So pretty much what I'm gonna do, this was dented out before. I just dented that back in with a ball peen hammer. I'm gonna take an entire piece of fiberglass and lay it over top of this whole area, and then I can use that to blend it into here. And honestly, if I take my time and do it right, you won't even be able to tell that there's a patch panel there. Alright, so I got all this. I wiped it down with paint thinner, so it's ready to be fiberglassed, sanded down, so the fiberglass should stick, no problem. What I did was I took a piece of fiberglass mat and I kind of put it in here and just cut it to the shape I need it. So I cut this line for that right over there. I'm going to trim this right across here, but that goes right to the frame rail there, and then this covers, or no, I got to move this back a little bit, and then that covers everything in there. And then once this is all dry, I'll be able to just maybe body fill it, or I can even just sand this down and it'll feather right into the actual wall of the wheel well. Alright, yo, so we got our fiberglass all cut up. Now we are going to actually mix the fiberglass itself. This is what I'm using. Proform fiberglass polyester resin. Will not run, waterproof, can be shaped and drilled. Exactly what we need. So basically I'm gonna mix up some fiberglass in this bucket here, the resin, and then I'm gonna dap that in it a little bit and then pour it around there so we can get all the coverage that I want. We back. Fiberglass is laid down. Didn't film it because you can't touch anything once you have fiberglass on your gloves. So I'll show you where we made it to. So you can obviously see through the fiberglass, but what I did was put that entire layer over, put resin all around the edges. You can kind of see the line of it there, and that is going to easily be blended in. And then I can put maybe a little bit of body filler on here just to make sure it's nice and flat. I had another spot over here. I grinded this bracket off, and this bracket, there were two kind of big holes there that came off with it, so I put a little bit of fiberglass there, and in one spot up here and here, those I'm just gonna body fill just so it like looks pretty decent. So that's gonna take about an hour and a half to dry. So while that's going on, I'm just gonna go around and take all of the visible seam sealer out, like here and pretty much all this. And what we're gonna do is actually just put a tiny bit of Bondo in there so we can smooth it to there instead of having that gross line. But yeah. Alright, so while I'm letting the fiberglass dry, I'm not gonna pull any more seam sealer out because I don't want it to dry into the fiberglass. So we're gonna go back into this mess. And that is not something I like to see. So this is horrifying. So pretty much I need to shorten a ton of these wires, and another portion of them I need to lengthen. So for example, the headlights, I'm gonna have to run out to the front still. My rad fan, my, you know, alternator wire, all that kind of stuff. That's all gonna have to be routed out, whereas the fuse panels and the relay boxes are gonna have to be moved inside of the dashboard. I'm not exactly sure how I'm gonna do that yet, because I couldn't really find any write-ups on it, but I'm gonna try my best. But for now, I'm just gonna strip back this harness as much as I can. We had a very unfun part. So I stripped all of the tape and covering off of the wiring harness, and all the mess of wires right here is all stuff that has to go back out to the front of the car, like my headlights, power steering reservoir thing, brake master, all that kind of stuff still has to go around. I have my main harness that runs for the alternator and stuff. That stuff I'm just gonna extend from the interior. So now I have to run this up into the dash. So I'm thinking I'm gonna run it up under the dash here, behind the radio cage, and then I popped off the air vent that goes over top of here, and I'm thinking I'm gonna put it in this area here, and then I'll have enough wire to make a panel in the glove box. But I won't be able to do that until everything's set in place, zip tied up, you know, ready to go. So wish me luck. I'm gonna try and feed this through now. Alright, so I've been going at the wiring now for like 3 hours. My hands are covered in black sticky stuff from all the old tape on there. That's where I'm at. So I wrapped up a bunch of this, kept it nice and tight. I don't know if it will fit here over the dash, or I might have to run it back up through here. All these wires are for the headlights, power steering res, brake master, everything there on the driver's side. These wires are all for the passenger side headlights, etc. So I've got the one fuse box relocated up there. It's gonna be there. This, I got all this pinned back in, so this I can kind of set in there. All of the wires that I need out are unwrapped, like those ones right there. So pretty much I'm gonna tap out for now because I've been going at this for like 3 hours. But yeah, made some nice progress on the wiring. Got the fiberglass in the engine bay done, so that's another step towards our goal. All right, welcome back. It's been about a day or so since I filmed. I don't exactly remember where I left off, but I'm gonna show you guys where I'm at now. Made some pretty good progress on the 240. So here we are in the engine bay. Moved my car into this little booth over here that I'm gonna be working on it for the next while. For right now, so I haven't shown you guys, but I've just been bondoing and sanding and bondo and sand. For example, so these seams, there was all the seam sealer I took out of here, put Bondo, sanded it down, saw a couple more things, had to re-Bondo it. There's some little ripples in the steel here from factory, so I decided to Bondo over that, just a couple touch-ups here and there. I'm smoothing this out into the strut tower to get rid of that line there. Getting rid of this line here as well. I fiberglassed all around here. getting rid of that. So that's going to be nice and clean. Same thing on the back side of the strut towers, all around there. Now this is actually turning out pretty well. I've been putting a ton of Bondo on top of this fiberglass, trying to get it to look even. But as you can see, it's got a nice curve in there and it's blended into the strut tower really well. There's nowhere else I'm actually gonna be applying Bondo to, just for simplicity purposes. So it's about 10 p.m. I just put my last coat of Bondo on. So I'm gonna take off for the night, let it dry, then sand it all down in the morning and maybe put on another coat. And then once all of this Bondo is sanded down, then I'm gonna go around and all the spots that are red, I'm just gonna scuff sand them. You know, anywhere that's bad, like where it's gross here, I'm gonna sand that right down to metal. Anywhere it's red and it's clean, I'm gonna leave most of the red and just scuff it. And then we're gonna prime the whole engine bay, but that's for another day. I'm in no rush to get all this stuff done. I really want to take my time and make sure it turns out good. Yo, quick little update. Can't remember exactly where I left off, but I'm pretty sure I was just putting on Bondo. I'm gonna show you guys where I am now. So I've got that spot primed. There's a little spot I don't like here, which I'm just gonna sand down and refill. Before then, these went over with glazing putty, so I'm gonna hit them with the spot prime, and yeah. Another thing is I took the front cradle supports off. So this is the center one, left, right, this, and my blades off. I'm gonna be painting all these. This is what it looks like when it's freshly blasted, but these are the supports that go down here on the front of the rad. So basically I broke my paint gun actually the other day when I was cleaning it, so I don't have my gun. I'm gonna go pick up one tomorrow, but so for now, since I just blasted them, I'm gonna just throw some gray primer on them at the same time. Oh yeah, so I'm using this spray can primer. This stuff is actually really good. Like, it lays on so thick. It's not like other shitty spray can primer. So I'm just using this for a spot prime because my gun's broken at the moment. So gotta do what you gotta do. I got all this, grinded it down with the wire wheel and the other wire wheel. It took a long ass time, but I grinded the headlight support and front rad cradle all down to bare steel, all the way down, all in there. The top rad support, this part I didn't bring down to bare steel, but most of that I did. All this, got this all primed today. Got this primed, got the strut tires primed, so these I still all got to sand, and I just did the firewall as well. So I used a combination of a palm sander and a grinder to take all the paint off the firewall, so that's why I had to prime it. So now we'll have a complete new paint system on there. So the little AC nipples, those have always been on my car. So I'm like, well, I'm just gonna paint them so at least they don't stick out and they'll match in with the bay. Same with the coolant one, so I'm not gonna have an issue with that there. Okay, so pretty much I got everything primed. My plan is to get this thing painted tomorrow. Got my new paint gun, so that's lit. And yeah, all I still have to do is wait. I gotta wait about 25 more minutes for this to dry. Like, it's dry to touch, but I'm gonna be doing some sanding, so I have to sand down this wheel well. Pretty much anything you see that's still red has to be sanded down. I have to and then I have to mask off the subframe and the tension brackets so that I can paint in the side of the rail there. And then I'm also gonna have to take up all these bolts, like take these nuts off. I think I'm gonna jack the car up, put like a piece of cardboard on top of the strut just around this hole, and then put it back down so when I spray it that I can even get in there as well without getting anything on my coilover hats. Alright, so last night we finished up. I got everything in the bay primed, so this is where we're at now. I did actually decide to go ahead and remove the hood hinges and prime this all so that it'll be all the same color, and grinded this down as well, so all in there. This is all gonna be painted, and I just went over and scuff sanded everything with 400 then 600 grit. So yeah. So that is going to be the end of this video. I feel like there's a lot of sanding and Bondo and all that kind of boring stuff. So the next video, I'm going to be revealing the color and we're going to be spraying the bay on the 240. So be sure to check out the next video. Peace.